and welcome to News Tonight on Rajya Sabha TV. I'm Tina Jha. Let's begin with the headlines. Demolition of disputed structure in Ayodhya not pre-planned, says special CBI court. Acquits all 32 accused, including L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, Uma Bharti and Kalyan Singh. India and China hold meeting to maintain peace and stability on the border. Both sides emphasize need to implement steps to enable early and complete disengagement of troops along the line of actual control. Prime Minister Narendra Modi instructs Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to take strictest action against culprits in the Hathras gang rape case. 3-member special investigation team formed, fast-track court to hear the case. Unlock 5 guidelines issued. States allowed to decide on opening of schools and coaching institutions in a graded manner after the 15th of October. Cinema halls, theatres, multiplexes permitted to open up with up to 50% seating capacity. And equipped with made-in-India technology, surface-to-surface supersonic cruise missile BrahMos successfully tested. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh calls it milestone in self-reliance. A special CBI court in Lucknow on Wednesday acquitted all 32 accused in the Babri Mosque demolition case. The court said there was no conclusive proof against the accused, which included BJP veterans like L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi and Uma Bharti. Details in this report. The demolition of the Babri Masjid on 6 December 1992 was a spontaneous act and not pre-planned, a special CBI court ruled on Wednesday. Ending a wait of nearly 28 years, the court acquitted all the 32 people accused of conspiracy in the case, including BJP veterans L.K. Advani, Murli Manohar Joshi, Uma Bharti, Kalyan Singh and several others. In the 2,300-page verdict, the special court held that the CBI could not produce any conclusive evidence against the accused.
कोर्ट ने कहा सब लोग बाइज्जत बरी हो गए, छूट गए, किसी का आरोप सिद्ध नहीं हुआ, इन लोगों के षड्यंत्र में कोई सहभागिता नहीं थी, सदाशयता के साथ इन्होंने वहां पे सांकेतिक कार सेवा कराने का पूरा प्रयास किया और जो वर्ग वहां पे कुछ मुट्ठी भर लोग तोड़फोड़ की कार्रवाई में जुट गए थे, उनका इन लोगों से कोई संबंध नहीं है.
However, the special court judge directed the accused to furnish a surety and personal bond of 50,000 rupees each in the court as a procedural requirement. L.K. Advani welcomed the court verdict, saying it vindicates his personal and BJP's belief and commitment towards the Ram Janmabhoomi movement. Former Union Minister Murli Manohar Joshi also termed the verdict historic.
स्पेशल कोर्ट का आज का जो निर्णय हुआ है वह अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है और हम सब के लिए बहुत खुशी का प्रसंग है.
इससे हम सब प्रसन्न हैं, देश प्रसन्न है और मैं ऐसा समझता हूं कि इसके बाद ये विवाद समाप्त होना चाहिए.
Top BJP leaders welcomed the acquittal of the 32 accused in the case, describing it as a victory of truth and justice. Defence Minister and senior BJP leader Rajnath Singh said in a Twitter message that the court's decision shows that though late, justice has won. The case relates to the razing of the disputed structure in Ayodhya on 6 December 1992. The CBI filed the charge sheet in the case in December 1993. The central agency produced 351 witnesses and 600 documents as evidence before the court. Charges were framed against 49 people. 17 died during the course of the trial. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. The Home Ministry has issued fresh guidelines for reopening of more economic activities under the 5th phase of unlock, effective from the 1st of October. However, strict enforcement of lockdown will continue in containment zones till 31st of October. Under the new guidelines, for reopening of schools and coaching institutions, states and union territories are allowed to take a decision after the 15th of October 2020 in a graded manner. Students may attend schools and institutions only with the written consent of parents. Attendance must not be enforced and must depend entirely on parental consent. States and union territories will prepare their own SOPs for reopening of schools, institutions based on the SOP by Department of School Education and Literacy Department of Higher Education, may take a decision on opening of colleges, higher education institutions in consultation with the Home Ministry. Cinemas, theatres, multiplexes will be permitted to open from 15th of October with up to 50% of their seating capacity. SOP will be issued by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. Business-to-business exhibitions will be permitted to open, for which SOP will be issued by the Department of Commerce. Swimming pools being used for training of sports persons will be permitted to open also from the 15th of October, for which the SOP will be issued by the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports. Entertainment parks and similar places will be permitted to open from the 15th, for which the SOP will be issued by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. States and union territory governments have been given the flexibility to permit social, academic, sports, entertainment, cultural, religious, political gatherings beyond the limit of 100 persons outside containment zones after the 15th of October. States and union territories will also issue detailed SOPs to regulate such gathering and strictly enforce the same. Starting Thursday, several policy changes will come into effect. These range from changes in rules relating to the motor vehicles, the Ujjwala scheme, health insurance, credit and also debit cards. More details in this report.
For vehicle drivers, physical verification of documents like driving license and registration certificate or RC will end from Thursday. Drivers can drive vehicles with only a valid soft copy of these documents attached to the vehicle. Drivers can also use their mobiles for route navigation in a modern-day amendment made in the motor vehicles rules. Under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, the process of getting a free gas connection will end from midnight. The Food Safety and Standards Authority of India has issued an order making it mandatory for sweet shops to declare the expiry date or best before date of all sweets available in the shop. Any foreign remittance made above 7 lakh rupees will attract a 5% tax collected at source beginning the 1st of October if the tax is not already deducted at source on that amount. The RBI has also issued new guidelines to secure debit and credit cards. Effective 1st October, card users will now be able to register opt-in or opt-out of services, spend limits for international transactions, online transactions, as well as contactless card transactions. Changes in health insurance cover have been introduced during the COVID-19 pandemic. While COVID-19 has now been included in the plans, 17 chronic illnesses will not be covered under the new rules.
A look now at the COVID-19 situation in the country. India continues to report the highest recoveries in the world. From 33.32% on the 1st of August to 15.11% on the 30th of September, active cases have less than halved in 2 months.
India on Wednesday sustained the trend of steadily declining active cases. Presently, active cases account for only 15.11% of the total positive cases in the country, standing at 9,40,000. With India reporting 80,472 new cases in the last 24 hours, the number of coronavirus infections crossed 62,25,000, including 51,87,000 recoveries, which is the highest in the world. The recovery rate touched 83.33% with 86,428 patients recovered in the last 24 hours. The gap between recovered cases and active cases has crossed 42,47,000. The death toll climbed to 97,497 with 1,179 people succumbing to the disease in a day. The COVID-19 case fatality rate stands at 1.57%. Over 7 crore 41 lakh samples tested for COVID-19 up to 29 September. Of these,
10,86,000 samples were tested on Tuesday. More than 76% active cases are in the 10 states of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, Assam, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu reported the highest 24-hour increase, while Maharashtra, Karnataka, Punjab, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh reported the highest number of deaths in the same period. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. India and China held a meeting of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on India-China Border Affairs on Wednesday. Both sides reviewed the current situation along the line of actual control in the India-China border areas and also held detailed discussions on the developments since the last such meeting on 20th of August this year. India and China held fresh round of talks on Wednesday to resolve the border standoff in eastern Ladakh. The virtual talks were held under the framework of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on Border Affairs. MEA spokesperson Anurag Srivastav said, both sides emphasized the need to implement the steps outlined in the joint press release issued after the last meeting of the senior commanders to avoid misunderstandings and maintain stability on the ground. Both sides agreed to continue to maintain close consultations at the diplomatic and military level. In this regard, they agreed that the next 7th round of meeting of senior commanders should be held at an early date so that both sides can work towards early and complete disengagement of the troops along the line of actual control in accordance with the existing bilateral agreement and protocols and fully restore peace and tranquility. The meeting comes a day after India categorically rejected China's claims, saying India never accepted the so-called unilaterally defined 1959 line of actual control. Experts say that China has been constantly changing its stand over the LSC, making untenable claims.
See, as far as China is concerned, China has been shifting goalposts right through. If you look at it into this particular context and this conflict right from beginning, if you remember, Chow Yun-lai had initially said that these were old maps. Then they talked of accepting McDonald-McCartney line, which actually gave them Aksai Chin Road, but left the rest of Eastern Ladakh with us. And then now they're talking about 1959. The fact is, after 1962, especially from 1993 onwards, they have been aware of our perception of line of actual control. And we have been asking them repeatedly of what is their perception of line of actual control, which they have been extremely reluctant to give it to us. And having done that, now they have taken out this, again, bolt from the blue, going back to 59 and claiming the 59 line of actual control, which India has never accepted, which they have never held.
Bringing in 30,000, 35,000 troops all of a sudden was not necessarily, in my perception, to capture any territory in depth or to resolve the Ladakh-based LAC issue. It was primarily to coerce us and send home a strategic message to India. What they didn't realize was, as you very correctly say, that the kind of resistance, the kind of professionalism they came across from the Indian army in Ladakh and subsequently the build-up which has taken place in less than 8 weeks and then the capability to stick out the winter. It's not an easy thing on our side to build up the logistics for this, but India has done it. Now the Chinese have very little options at the moment, because they can't go beyond that, and they were looking for an exit strategy which was not easily available to them. Now it is very clear that they are looking for elongation of the situation, negotiations to continue, and that is why these preposterous claims are being brought in.
The Indian government also reminded China that its insistence that there is only one LSC is contrary to the solemn commitments made by Beijing in previous bilateral agreements. With inputs from Akhilesh Suman, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. The Uttar Pradesh government has set up a 3-member special investigation team to investigate the Hathras rape incident. The SIT will be headed by State Home Secretary Bhagwan Swaroop, and the SIT will submit its report within 7 days. All the 4 accused in the matter have been arrested, and the trial of the case will also take place in a fast-track court. State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath spoke to the father of the deceased girl and assured stringent action against the accused. Earlier in the day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke to the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister and also called for strictest action against the culprits in the case.
4 men sexually assaulted the victim on the 14th of September. She was referred to a Delhi hospital on Monday in an extremely critical condition with spinal injuries, paralysis, and cuts in her tongue. The girl succumbed to her injuries on Tuesday.
प्रकरण की जांच के लिए शासन ने एक उच्च स्तरीय एसआईटी का गठन किया है, जिसका नेतृत्व गृह सचिव भगवान स्वरूप कर रहे हैं और उनकी सहायता के लिए एक डीआईजी स्तर का अधिकारी और एक अन्य अधिकारी लगाए गए हैं, एसपी स्तर के अधिकारी और वो महिला अधिकारी लगाई गई हैं.
Time for a short break here. News and updates will continue on the other side. Do stay with us.
Watch The Big Picture with me, Vishal Dahiya, at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha TV.
Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. Calling opposition's doubts regarding the labour reform bills baseless, Labour and Employment Minister Santosh Gangwar described the labour bills passed during the monsoon session of Parliament as historic. In a special conversation with Rajya Sabha television, the minister said that the government's motive behind implementing the labour codes is for the welfare of workers and also creating job opportunities. Parliament passed the 3 bills on labour code during the just concluded monsoon session.
हमारा मानना है कि अब नौकरियों के अवसर बढ़ेंगे. मजदूर संगठनों से हम बात करते हैं तो उनका भी मानना है कि हम जैसे मजदूर संगठनों से बात करते हैं कि वो नौकरी कहाँ कम हो रही है, ये बताओ. और तो वो ये कोई नहीं कहता है. वो कहते हैं कि जिस प्रकार की नीति आप बना रहे हो, नौकरियों के अवसर भी बढ़ेंगे और लोगों को रोजगार भी मिलेगा और लोगों को एक हम लगातार मजदूर संगठनों के संपर्क में भी रहते हैं.
Home Minister Amit Shah on Wednesday distributed 200 electric potter wheels and other pottery equipment to 200 trained artisans at a function held at Randheja village in his parliamentary constituency of Gandhinagar in Gujarat via video conference. Of the 20 villages identified by KVIC, 15 fall under the Gandhinagar district, while 5 of them belong in Ahmedabad district. The distribution of electric potter wheels will benefit at least 1,200 members of the community by increasing their productivity and their income. During the interaction, Amit Shah said the electric wheel will not only help the potters to enhance production, but also enable them to make products that will fetch them good income during festivals like Dussehra and Diwali. Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister Prakash Javadekar will meet environment ministers of Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan virtually on Thursday. The meeting will be held to review the situation and the steps taken by these states to curb pollution levels over the last 4 years. The meet will start with the review of short-term, medium-term and long-term plans implemented since the year 2016, along with the review of the current status of air quality. Earlier, Prakash Javadekar had said there is no magic bullet to mitigate air pollution as it was caused by meteorological and geographical reasons which get exacerbated by man-made factors. Environment secretaries, officials from the Pollution Control Board, Delhi Development Authority, among others, will be present at the virtual meeting.
हम पहले सभी एजेंसीज को एक शॉर्ट टर्म प्लान, एक मीडियम टर्म प्लान और लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान बनाने का 2016 में ही शुरुआत की है. उस प्लान के मुताबिक क्या क्या काम हुआ उसका रिव्यू किया जाएगा. सीपीसीबी की 50 टीमें तैयार होती है और 15 अक्टूबर से वो स्पॉट्स पर जाके जहां शिकायत आती है वहां की स्थिति देखकर क्या तुरंत सुधार करने चाहिए वो बताती है। पिछले 2 साल जो उन्होंने काम किया है उसका भी रिव्यू इस मीटिंग में होगा।
All 24 department-related parliamentary standing committees have been reconstituted by Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu and Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. The parliamentary standing committees relate to ministries or departments. Here's a detailed report.
Department-related parliamentary standing committees have been reconstituted with effect from 13 September 2020. V. Vijay Sai Reddy has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Commerce. Ram Gopal Yadav is the chairman of the Committee on Health and Family Welfare. Anand Sharma has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Home Affairs. Dr. Vinay Sahasrabudhe has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Human Resource Development. Dr. K. Keshav Rao has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Industry. Bhupendra Yadav is the chairman of the Committee on Personnel, Public Grievances, Law and Justice. Jairam Ramesh has been made the chairman of the Committee on Science and Technology, Environment, Forests and Climate Change. T.G. Venkatesh is the chairman of the Committee on Transport, Tourism and Culture. P.C. Gadigodar has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Agriculture. K. Karimuri has been appointed as the chairperson of the Committee on Chemicals and Fertilizers. Rakesh Singh has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Coal and Steel. Jual Oram has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Defence. Rajiv Ranjan Singh has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Energy. P.P. Chaudhary has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on External Affairs. Jayant Sinha has been appointed chairman of the Committee on Finance. Sudeep Bandyopadhyay has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Food, Consumer Affairs and Public Distribution. Dr. Shashi Tharoor has been appointed chairman of the Committee on Information and Technology. Bhartrihari Mehtab has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Labour. Ramesh Bidhuri has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Petroleum and Natural Gas. Radha Mohan Singh has been appointed chairman of the Committee on Railways. Pratap Rao Jadhav has been appointed chairman of the Committee on Rural Development. Rama Devi as the chairperson of the Committee on Social Justice and Empowerment. Jagdambika Pal has been appointed as the chairman of the Committee on Urban Development. And Dr. Sanjay Jaiswal as the chairman of the Committee on Water Resources. Constituted under Rule 268, each standing committee has not more than 31 members. 10 members are nominated by the chairman from amongst the members of the Rajya Sabha and 21 members nominated by the Speaker from the lower house. Each standing committee has the function to consider the demands for grants of the related ministries or departments. The committees will examine bills pertaining to the related ministries and departments, referred to the committee by the chairman or the speaker and report thereon. The panels will consider the annual reports of the ministries or departments and report thereon and will consider national basic long-term policy documents presented to the houses if referred to the committee by the chairman or the speaker. Priti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu on Wednesday hailed Begum Hazrat Mahal for her contribution towards the Indian freedom movement. Born in 1820, Begum Hazrat Mahal was the wife of the ruler of Awadh, Nawab Wajid Ali Shah. An icon of India's freedom struggle, Begum Hazrat Mahal fought against the British colonial rule in 1857. Recalling Begum Hazrat Mahal's contribution towards India's freedom struggle, the Vice President said, Begum was a key figure in organizing the uprising against the British in Awadh region during the First War of Independence in 1857. He praised her military and administrative ability during those testing times. Showing exemplary military skills and statesmanship, Begum Hazrat Mahal raised a large army with the support of the people and was believed to have given a fierce resistance to the British forces. The British had even attacked Awadh repeatedly and forced her to retreat. She refused to accept any kind of favors and luxuries offered to her by the British rulers. India successfully test-fired a new version of the supersonic cruise missile BrahMos on Wednesday. The surface-to-surface missile can hit targets in over 400-kilometer range. Featuring a number of indigenously developed subsystems, the missile was flight tested from a land-based mobile launcher for a designated range from the integrated test range in Balasore in Odisha this morning. In a statement, the Defense Ministry said that the successful launch has paved the way for serial production of the indigenous booster and other indigenous components of the powerful BrahMos weapon system. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh congratulated the team members of Defense Research and Development Organization and the BrahMos for the mission. He said the achievement will give a big boost to India's Atmanirbhar Bharat pledge. BrahMos Aerospace, an India-Russia joint venture, produces the supersonic cruise missile that can be launched from submarines, ships, aircraft, or even from land platforms. The first US presidential debate between President Donald Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden took place on Tuesday night over issues like healthcare, COVID-19 pandemic, and the future of the Supreme Court. The debate was televised live from Cleveland, Ohio.
The 90-minute debate between US Republican candidate Donald Trump and his challenger Joe Biden saw exchanges between both candidates on key subjects like the coronavirus pandemic, healthcare, climate change, and the economy. President Trump asserted that America has gained a lot during his presidency. Biden, however, said Trump's policies had damaged the world's superpower.
I'm cutting drug prices. I'm going with favored nations, which no president has the courage to do because you're going against big pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period in government, but you didn't do it. Nobody's done it. So we're cutting health care.
There's no plan for health care.
Of course we do.
He sends out wishful thinking. He has executive orders that have no power. He hasn't lowered drug costs for anybody. He's been promising a health care plan since he got elected. He has none, like almost everything else he talks about. He does not have a plan.
Both Trump and Biden claim that their party's policies are best for America.
Let me just tell you, Joe, I've done more in 47 months. I've done more than you've done in 47 years, Joe. We've done things that you never even thought of doing.
Okay. Why does he want to open it up? Why doesn't he take care of it? You can't fix the economy until you fix the COVID crisis. And he has no intention of doing anything about making it better for you all at home in terms of your health and your safety.
With just 35 days to go for election and early voting underway in some states, this was the first of the 3 debates scheduled between the 77-year-old Biden and 74-year-old Trump. The next debate will take place on the 15th of October, followed by another one on 22nd of October. There will be 2 more rounds of debates in the US before the presidential elections on 3rd November 2020. With inputs from Akhilesh Suman, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, so that's it from us in this bulletin. Thank you very much for your time. Good night.